And that brings me to, the next subject. And I've been waiting eagerly for that. And I'm sure a lot of the viewers would be as well. The Singapore FinTech Festival, right? It's 60,000 plus people last year from across the world. Run by the Monetary Authority of Singapore, of course, in partnership with ABS and SingX. But content, speakers, arguably the best you would see. I saw pictures of you on a billboard at the NASDAQ billboard on Times Square. I think that was probably the day that you were competing directly with the heads of state in the US as well in terms of visibility.
NASDAQ was too kind on me.
No, but look, I think you've built a great platform that not only allows globally fintechs, insurtechs, financial institutions, industry, communities to come and engage, collaborate, innovate, and also, of course, look at fundraising opportunities, right? Outside of that, you've also slipped in some excellent socio-economic issues that need to be addressed, and you brought those to the fore as well. Last year was the financial inclusion, sustainability, lots of high impact areas. Now, of course, as Ecosystem, we were privileged to have been the thought leadership partners, and we saw firsthand, up close, how much went into what your team did to pull this off. So now I know when you started this, it seems like it started many years ago, but it's only about 4 years old, right? And when you started this,
yes.
I know your goal was not to run an events business, but you did this with a purpose. So love to hear your story. To get your story of Singapore FinTech Festival, what it means, and what's your vision?
Oh, it's a long story, but I'll try to get across a shorter version of the story. Now, of course, as you made a comment that as a regulator, we are not a business or running event. In fact, that was the first question asked to me when we discussed why we are organizing event when there are plenty of organizers out there who can do an event for us. So my view was that we are not going to organize an event. We're going to bring together people to celebrate success. And we should be open to any ideas. Anybody who wants to share success should be there. And we should start with something as abstract possible with no clear agenda and see where it goes. So almost nothing in our mind, what seems to be an organized conference. And the team came back to me with a proposal to do less than few hundred people, that too within MAS, very small one. And I did not push back. I thought, okay, let it go. And I suggested maybe we should invite some people from outside. And I had this colleague of mine who no longer works with me, but still with the agency, is working with a different government agency, Roy Teo. Very bright chap and very passionate about what he does. So I got him to help me in this program, and I knew he's a super competent chap, and he will pull it off. So got Roy and told him that start putting some public narrative that we are going to do such thing. Will people be interested to join us? And Roy comes back and tells boss, we can do little more than 1,000. Okay, let's go with that. And I'm actually discounting a lot of things happened between that and this number. It a lot of hardship to get in that number. And but Roy came with a good idea, saying that we should rope in ABS, the Bankers Association of Singapore, and Mrs. Ong, who runs it, will be a great partner. And she's a lovely lady. She's 74 now, perhaps that's her age. She calls herself the senior most digital lady in Singapore. So I go to her and I talk to Mrs. Ong saying that, look, I need your help. We need to do an event. Will you be interested to come and join with us? And she looks at me, stops, I'm going to do it, but not a big one. Okay, we stay 2,000, something like that. And we went out. Then Mrs. Song calls me, Sobs, this number is increasing, you got to stop it. And I kept on delaying that response, and it hit 3,000. And Mrs. Song calls me and says that, Sobs, you promised me this will not be a big one. We have got 3,000. You got to stop it now. And that now was an eventful day for all of us. It was the day where the US election was about to decide who will be the next president after President Obama. And I told Mrs. Song, nobody cares about Singapore FinTech Festival today. We'll keep it open, but we will put a notice and get it down tonight. I think in Singapore, noontime, the US election was announced. And for some spurious correlation, the number of signups hit close to 7,000, 8,000. I think I told Mr. Song, let it go. We have crossed our number way big than what we thought. We will end up with something we can live with, but it is way beyond us. Let it go as big it can. And the first event ended up with some 11,000 people. So that's how FinTech Festival started, big number. And from every year onwards, it has become double, double, double. And we are now 60,000 in 4 years' time. But the reason why Singapore FinTech Festival in mind, in hindsight, because we not planned for it, was because we made it very open. And we ensured that there is no VIP treatment in that festival. Anybody with great idea has a place in that festival. There's an open platform. You may not have any history of your success, but you have done something very well last 6 months. You can come and speak to a crowd of 5,000 people. And it's that open. So we created a format which allowed people to express themselves. We were quite bold in picking up topics which were not popular in many conference circuits. And the more important part is that what I think we did together, and I'm very thankful my buddy Roy to be part of that whole discussion, we will make it an affordable conference. And think about it. During that time, I'm talking 2015-16,
yep.
Most of the growing fintech, new fintechs were coming from emerging market, Africa, Vietnam, Cambodia, Myanmar, Indonesia, Philippines. These people cannot afford to travel to meet thought leaders for a conference. You pick any top-notch conference. It's expensive. It is expensive to travel. It is expensive to join this conference, and they were not having access to this huge network of people coming together. We made a pledge, we'll make it affordable for somebody from Cambodia, somebody from Vietnam. And we priced in such a way that they should be able to travel to Singapore and survive 5 days with less than 1,000 Singapore dollar. And that was our goal as a price point by which we can attract the best talent, a lifetime opportunity once in a year to come to Singapore and interact with every possible bright brain together and go back and inspire their own people back at home and come back with better idea next year. So this price point, inclusivity, bringing people together was the big part of the success of FinTech Festival. And you are part of that whole thing. You know that how open we are when it comes to picking topic, choosing partners. We are quite liberal in anybody with good ideas are welcome to come here.
Yeah, no, look, we certainly saw that, and it has been a tremendous journey and learning for me and my teams as well, and I can't express what a great experience it has been, not just as a run-up to the event, but the 3 days on site. Those 3 days, have not seen something of that scale and the engagement at that level. So it was fantastic. And I know in terms of the impact that you're making, with the FinTech Festival. Sopnendu, it goes beyond the FinTech community. It goes beyond Singapore. We've already discussed that. I mean, you've had participation from various heads of states at the FinTech Festival. I have not seen heads of states ever participate in a technology event, but you've had you've had a number of them participate. Perhaps something to look forward to in the upcoming Singapore FinTech Festival.
Yes, yes, the data will be a big part of the discussion along with green.
And so, what should we expect in terms of the key outcomes that you want to achieve this year from the Singapore FinTech Festival?
Our biggest focus will be because we are in the midst of a COVID-19 crisis. Before the crisis, I was thinking that given this is the 5th year of Singapore FinTech Festival, we will do a bit of anniversary kind of thinking. In fact, this is the 10th year of FinTech, because this is the decade we are coming out of the global financial crisis.
Yes.
FinTech took place after global financial crisis. So we are almost a decade away from where we started. So it's 10 years of FinTech, 5 years of Singapore FinTech Festival. We thought we will dedicate this year to celebrate the people who worked hard over the last 10 years to make FinTech what it is today. So we wanted to dedicate this year to those people. So it's a people's conference, and we will bring stories about success, failure, interesting insights which took place over the last 10 years. So that was the big thinking this time. But COVID-19 came in. We didn't anticipate that. So we will retain some of the original thinking, but we're going to pivot to something big this time. We have already started. In fact, in a couple of weeks' time, I think somewhere in June 8th or 9th, we will release a press, the Global Hackcelerator, which is the first part of Singapore FinTech Festival. And this year, we are going to dedicate 100 problem statement in the space of green, sustainability, and social good. This will be the big narrative for next 5-10 years. And this time, Singapore Global Hackcelerator will be focusing on those problem statements. We have $1 million+ of award money incentivizing people to participate. So that's part one. Part two, the conference itself will be, in my mind, I don't know, in my mind at least, and I'm going to push my team to think, and they're also thinking already, they know that I'm going to push them more. It'll be bigger than last year. Not going to be smaller. Of course, I don't expect 60,000 people to hang out in one place because social distancing will remain for a long period of time. We are thinking creative way by which both physical and digital can be combined, and we can have more distributed space around the world to do this event. So we're coming with some ideas which will make it bigger, more distributed, more connected, and much more fun. So that's the second part. Third part, in terms of topics, we're going to go very deep around the tech behind green, the tech behind sustainability, the tech behind social good. And I want to spend a lot of time this time talking about difficult topics which we don't do it anymore. Pension structures, microinsurance, data, citizen-centric data ownership. How do we connect small, medium enterprise to global community through some network platform? Very, very topical, very challenging topics. We're going to focus a lot on that because we have to think about three things together. It has to be climate friendly, green, it has to be sustainable, it has to have social outcome. We've got to bring all the three together in narrative. That's the big focus in terms of subject this time, on top of the people celebration and the success celebration and other things we do.
Great objectives, great vision in terms of the outcomes you want to achieve, Sopnendu. I perhaps, and I hope that this crisis brings the opportunity for you to now not bring the world to the Singapore FinTech Festival, but hopefully with the physical and virtual models,
Yes.
take the Singapore FinTech Festival to the world, and you know, make it pervasive in each of those markets that that drive this sector.